Hello and welcome to the shop. My name is Ryan Hirsch and today we are going to be taking a virtual test ride on an Edison bike. So I'm going to start with one of the most popular questions we get, which is what makes Edison bicycles different? There's a few things. Number one is the frame design. So whether you're talking about an electric bike or a Tesla or a hammer drill even, you're looking at three common components, which is a battery, a motor, and a controller. Now, especially 5 years ago, bike manufacturers, they would start with a frame and just tack these components on. And the result was often overweight, not balanced. What we did is we integrated the battery and controller into the down tube. And by doing that, we were able to eliminate popular failure points. So when you have a removable battery, you have to have a protective shell around it. You also have to have a locking mechanism. And also you have to have some kind of connector that marries the battery with the controller. By integrating it, we're able to get rid of all those popular failure points and cut weight. Our bikes are 43 pounds light. And as you can see, they're perfect 50-50 weight balanced, which makes for a really nice riding experience. So perfect weight distribution coupled with a frictionless motor makes this a very rideable bike, even with the power off. The second thing that makes us different and really special is the fact that we're local. Bikes are machines with lots of moving parts, and in the off chance that something does happen, we're right around the corner and we have your back. Even if you're not local to Atlanta, you're local to us. We're always happy to provide support via FaceTime or chat. Plus, our bikes use off-the-shelf components that are recognizable and serviceable by any bike shop. So we really spent the money developing this frame. This frame is made out of aircraft-grade aluminum. It weighs 2.9 pounds. The battery pack, it's made by Panasonic. It's a Panasonic PF18650 battery cell. They're going to last over 1,000 charge cycles. And at 1,000 charge cycles, they're not going to stop working altogether. They're just going to work at a diminished capacity. We have folks that have almost 30,000 miles on their bikes that have no reports of degradation, so these have actually been exceeding our expectations. The motor has an IP68 waterproof rating. It works underwater, and because it's totally sealed, it's self-lubricating. These motors are rated at 30,000 miles without needing any service. If you ride your bike 30,000 miles, we're going to buy you a new motor, and we're probably going to write a blog post about you. So the next question is how do we finish building these bikes while still keeping costs in check? And the answer is, we just have razor thin margins. Because we're building these and selling them directly to you, you're getting a better built and better spec'd bike for your money. Take our Tektro hydraulic disc brakes for an example. These brakes cost us an extra $180 to put on. But with the added speed and weight of an electric bike, especially when folks are loading their kids on the back or their gear, you need to be able to stop. One of the most popular questions we get is how far and how fast can Edison push me? And to set your expectation, I weigh a little over 200 pounds and I like to ride these things fast. I'm usually averaging about 22 miles an hour. And what I found is, especially in Atlanta, which is very hilly, I'm getting about 2 miles per amp hour rating of the battery pack. Our battery packs are 13.2 amp hours, which means riding this at full assist, I'm going to get 26 miles minimum. We prefer to set the expectation low and then exceed them. So if you can't tell, I could talk about these bikes all day, but let's talk about how it works. So to turn it on, you long press this power button. There are two different ways to accelerate our bikes. One is by hopping on and turning the pedals. You have cadence sensing pedal assist that's going to measure your input 100 times per second. You also have 5 different levels of assist. Each level corresponds to about 100 watts of assistance. So in level 1, you're barely going to feel it, whereas level 5 feels superhuman. But the cool thing is, no matter what level you're in, you have a thumb throttle with access to all 650 watts. So let's say you're riding in a lower level and a stop sign or a stoplight robs you of all your momentum. It's nice to just be able to grab that throttle and get it right back. Or let's say somebody that's wearing spandex passes you and you're in a low level of assist, just match that throttle and pass them back, because nobody passes an Edison. In addition to having 5 levels of electric assist, you also have 7 mechanical gears. Now I know this sounds like a lot, but it really comes in handy, let's say if you're riding this bike for exercise, or if you do manage to kill the battery, you can still ride this thing home. But realistically, if you're in a high level of assist, you're probably just going to be in 6th or 7th gear because the motor is doing most of the work at that point. Before we go for a test ride, I want to call your attention to a couple cool little things about Edison. One is the BSD custom fork. This fork has 40 millimeters of suspension. Potholes and curbs tend to sneak up on you when you're riding 24 plus miles an hour. We also use bomb-proof tires. They're 2 inches wide and they have a 5 millimeter Kevlar belt. So pinch flats and puncture flats are a thing of the past. Lastly, long pressing the up arrow on the display is going to illuminate a 500 lumen headlight. All right, it's test ride time. Let's take this for a spin. As you can see, these bikes make Atlanta hills as flat as a pancake. Even on bumpy roads, these bikes are super smooth. Man, these brakes are good. Well, that's the end of this test ride. If you want to set one up for yourself, head over to edisonbicycles.com or shoot us an email at support@edisonbicycles.com. See you next time.